issues. See if it's recording. Start recording. Excellent. Well, we're going to welcome Karen and Brian from Skyward to the Employer in Residence program for the spring semester at UW Stout. We're going to build your brand with students, faculty, and give an idea of what they're all about. Welcome, Karen and Brian. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
So good afternoon. I am Karen. I'm the recruiter here at Skyward, and joining me today is Mr. Brian Hicks. He will be taking over after I do a little presentation about Skyward, and he's going to dive into our internship as well as full-time software engineer opportunities here at Skyward. So who is Skyward, you might wonder? So Skyward is a family-owned and operated school administration software company. We have over 600 hardworking, talented people here at Skyward and working in 16 different departments. So yes, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of programmers, because we do. We have probably 250 programmers, but the rest of our 600 hardworking, talented people are in all of these other departments that you see, from quality assurance to IT services, facilities management, customer consulting, all of those different departments. And what does Skyward do? So Skyward develops, sells, and supports school administration software. We have two primary product lines: our student information systems and our finance and human resources management system. So what does that mean? Our student information system side of our software would be where parents check your students' grades. They pay fees. Students check their grades as well. Maybe turn in assignments. Parents can also put money into your lunch account, any of those types of things. And our finance and human resource side of things, school districts purchase that side of our software so they can pay teachers, they can hire teachers, they can do budgeting, they can do accounts payable, accounts receivable. Those are just some of the things that those two sides of our software does. And we do serve over 2,000 K through 12 school districts throughout the world. So our customers are school districts. So we have over 2,000 of them, which means we touch over 7.5 million students every single day with our software. And that's just the students. It doesn't include their parents, administration, and that type of thing. So we definitely touch many lives with our software. Where is Skyward? Skyward is proud to have our roots here in central Wisconsin in Stevens Point, where we were founded in 1980. The top picture here is our world headquarters here in Stevens Point, and we also have a branch office still in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Texas is one of our largest states, so we still do have a branch office there. Why is Skyward in business? Skyward is in business to deliver a better administrative software experience and foster a more productive, collaborative, and successful environment for all of our users. So Skyward was founded 40 years ago here in Stevens Point, and I can tell the story quite well, but I like to play this video instead because our marketing team is very talented and they do a very good job. So I'm going to play a video here quickly for you on when and how did Skyward come to be. Please holler if you do not hear it. It should be working, but one never knows.
Merrill was our first school customer, but prior to that, I had a number of customers that I did work for locally. And one of the customers that I worked with was the Point Brewery. And the Point Brewery had a Burroughs B80 machine, which was a mini computer that Burroughs provided not only the brewery, but also, as it turned out, Merrill area public schools. And while I was working at Point Brewery, the Burroughs salesman happened to stop in and sees me sitting behind the computer, wondering what I was doing there, and he asked, "What am I doing there?" And I told him, "Well, I'm writing programs for the Point Brewery." And he said, well, you know how to write programs? I said, well, I better, because they're depending on me. He said, well, would you be interested in writing programs for other people that have a computer similar to this B80 that Point Prairie has? I said, by all means, I need to feed my family. Show me that smile again. He then introduced me to Merrill area public schools. They wanted a salary negotiation system written on their B80 machine. Well, they decided to award me the contract. But we didn't have our own computer, so we had to use their computer, and they were nice enough to let us use their computer. So Cliff and I both could drive back and forth to Merrill blindfolded, because we must have done it 150 times in that 6 weeks. So we would work from 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 7 in the morning. And we offered to do a live demonstration for the superintendent and the business manager. And the borough salesman was following this whole project, and he asked if it would be okay to invite the 55 other Wisconsin schools to come and see the live test, so to speak. And of course I said by all means, because we were looking possibly at having other schools buy our software. Well, of the 55 schools that were invited, only 3 chose to come to the presentation. Wrightstown, Tomahawk, and Watoma schools. That was the bad news, that only 3 out of the 55 showed up. The good news was all 3 of them gave me an order for that software. So that's how we got into the school business, and we were very fortunate to find that niche. Back then, we wore 3 or 4 or 5 different hats. We had to develop the software, we had to sell the software, we had to demonstrate the software, we had to market the software. So we had quite a few roles that we had to play, so there wasn't any time for rest. The first 15 years, maybe 20 years, just absolutely flew by. It was a fun time. Cliff and I think back on it very favorably. What has stayed the same is our relationship with our customers and our devotion to meeting their needs. The sky's the limit.
So that is our history. That was Jim King, our founder, and our like I say, our wonderful marketing department put that together for us. So we are going to talk, and Brian's going to talk a little bit about our internship program coming up here. We do have our internship program has been around for many years, being our first intern started in 1986, and that intern is currently our CEO. So, you know, you've got to start somewhere at Skyward, and like Jim King likes to say, the sky's the limit. So since then, we have hired close to 300 interns, and over 150 of our current full-time employees did start as interns. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brian, and he is going to talk a little bit about our software engineer internship program and our full-time positions. Brian?
Thank you, Karen. I love that video. I've seen it a million times, and it just makes me laugh. Our marketing department is amazing at what they do. Yeah, so just want to talk a little bit about our software engineer internship position. You can see on the screen here is a picture of some of our recent interns that we've had in our software engineering department. So a few kind of cool things I think about our internship program is we treat our interns just like we do any other full-time employee. So our full-time employees and our intern employees go through exactly the same training. We just vary things a little bit depending on what each of those different groups knows. And then we take even our brand new hires, we take those along with our interns, and we have them work in on a team doing real Skyward projects. So our interns are doing real things, just like our full-time developers are. So Karen had talked about the 7.5 million students that use our software. When you add in teachers and parents, you're looking at about 10 million users of our software. Excuse me, sorry. So a mistake by one of our interns results in potentially affecting almost 10 million people. So we have some pretty good pressure on them to perform and really give them a sense of what it is like to be a software engineer here at Skyward. Karen, can you go to the next slide?
I surely can.
Thank you. Yeah, so here's some key things about Skyward, both from an internship and a full-time position. We are a software company. This is all we do. We write, sell, distribute, support software. We do all of our coding in-house. We have, as Karen said, a little over 200 software engineers, so about almost a third of our workforce are software engineers. And one of the things that we've continued to do from the very beginning at Skyward is have a good work-life balance. Our average full-time software engineers work about 42 hours a week. Anybody that's familiar with the software engineering industry, that is almost unheard of. It's pretty common for software engineers to average closer to 50 to 55 hours a week. We don't find that to be a productive and healthy way to work here at Skyward. So we really try to stay focused and work on having a really good work-life balance. We have this awesome, fancy new building that we've been in now for a few years that I absolutely love. It feels like, kind of corporate-like in the building, but the environment is very, very casual. Casual dress code, shorts, t-shirts, year-round, casual work environment, and really focusing on collaboration and the way that we've set up our workspaces really lends itself well to collaborating. 15 years ago or so, when I started developing, we didn't work in the agile development environment that we have now, and I literally had an entire day that I would go without talking to a single person. Those days of development are gone. We work together as a team. We have probably 25 different development teams that we work together and collaborate with lots of access and resources for our new developers to work with some of our more advanced developers too. So everybody is continuing to grow and to learn. Professional development is a very important part of both an intern experience and a full-time experience at Skyward. We really, with the interns, well, with everybody, but with our interns, we have a dedicated learning and development department that focuses on the interns and providing them with the guidance and the mentoring and the leadership opportunities that they need to become a full-time software engineer at Skyward. We have free coffee, cappuccino, lattes, really cool coffee machines. They're awesome. I kind of miss them now that I'm at home. But good coffee, even if it is coming out of a vending machine, trust me. Continuous learning is also really important for us. Software development is a continuously changing and growing area. So just because you've graduated doesn't mean that you're done learning and growing. One of the coolest things I think that we do coming up for us here at the end of July is we take our software engineering department, so 200 or so developers, and we take a week off. And we spend 3 days of that week learning and playing and team building and just kind of having fun. And I got to be honest, I was really, as awesome and as progressive as our company is, I was surprised that they were willing to take 3 days of production gone for us to learn and to grow and to honestly just have some fun. And it's a great thing. It's like a mini conference that we have right here in our building. Next slide, Karen. All right, so here's a picture of that event. Last year, you can see we played some kickball. We played some bag toss, as well as some other different competitions. What's really cool about this picture, and the reason that I put this in here, is the team that took third place are interns. That is our intern team. So out of the 25 teams that we have here, our interns took third place in the programming challenge that was issued to all developers. So pretty cool. Pretty proud of our learning and development department for getting them in the right spot to be able to compete with seasoned full-time developers. Next slide, Karen. Yeah, I touched on some of this stuff. Actually, I think I touched on all of this stuff already. Team-based development, focus on personal growth. One of the cool things that we did a few years ago was, actually several years ago now, was this really crazy idea of taking some of your best developers and saying, you're not going to write code anymore. You're going to be our support specialists. So we have currently 5 software engineers that we've identified as our code quality experts. And these are the guys and gals that created the existing framework that we use in our software. So they are the experts that all of our teams can go to learn, to get a really good full understanding of what we're trying to do here. So that was cool. It was a crazy idea that's turned out to pay for itself many times over. All right, next one, Karen. A little picture here of what our software looks like. Yeah, this is what it looks like. I don't know that there's much more to say. Sometimes when we're in person, we can kind of click around and look at things. That doesn't lend itself very well in this particular environment. But we did want to give you a picture of at least what the software looks like. All right, what is next?
What is next is our careers page.
There we go. Back. You want this part, Karen?
Sure. So we were chatting earlier just about what a wonderful recruitment effort we had this past spring, and we currently do not have our software engineer internship or our full-time position posted, but both will be back up and posted. The internship will most likely not be posted till this fall, and that will be looking for interns for next summer. But our full-time position should be posted, I would think, not exactly sure, but I'd probably think in the next month or so. So if you are interested in applying for either of those, you would want to visit our careers page, which is at skyward.com/careers. And there you can, that is the only place that you should be going to apply for a position. I do post our positions on Indeed, and I put them on Handshake, and I also put them out on Stout's. You guys don't use Handshake, so I put them out on your website or your careers link. But you do need to go to our skyward.com/careers to apply. If you apply through Indeed or through Handshake, we don't see those applications, so do keep that in mind. Also, now is not too early of a time to go to our career site, because even though the postings aren't available, there are other things that are available on that site. So you can apply for one of our current openings, or you can take our careers quiz, or you can take virtual tours of our career opportunities. So there's a bunch of different videos on not only software engineer department, but on all 16 of our departments at Skyward. There's different in software engineer videos available on there as well. So it just gives you a little bit better of a feel for what Skyward is and what we do, not only in the software engineer department, but throughout the building. So there's some information on there. So that is pretty much what I had, unless Brian had anything more he wanted to share.
Nope.
Obviously, we're open to questions if there are any. And if there are not any, we are pretty much good to go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was informative and interesting because I had just very little bit of information that I was aware of. So that's very cool. I have a question about, maybe something a little more personal, not a job that you have available, but in your software, you provide it to the schools and it allows the departments ways of communicating and paying and receiving payment and checking grades. Do you have a component in there that would assist with, let's say, parent-teacher organization, the PTO? Here's why I'm asking. I'm the treasurer of the PTO, and we're trying to figure out a better way of communicating with the parents, with our, budgeting of what we're going to do with this money each year and how much we would allocate. So we're still scrambling with just an Excel spreadsheet. And my question is that something that you guys have in your software, something like that?
Karen, do we have that?
Brian, I was going to have you take that. I'm
totally kidding. Unfortunately, Stephanie, we do not have anything along those lines that I can think of. There are some possibilities. If you had somebody somewhat creative within the creative and willing within the finance department of your school district that maybe could give you some tools for that type of budgeting. But if I'm being honest, they're probably not going to give you access to the system for those types of things. Certainly something that I can bring to our product environment.
Yeah. Well,
and see if there's been other districts that have asked for things like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be interesting because I still speak with, and, collaborate and give the school accountant the binder of information that we've accumulated each year for her to cross-reference and
Sure.
do what she needs to do for her part for auditing. So we're still kind of connected.
Sure.
But it's not like I have access to the school account. I have access to, what's in our budget and our checkbook, but it's pretty tied down tightly with, who's writing the checks and stuff. But it's also, trying to connect not only the budgetary piece of it, but it's the what's happening, why we're doing it. The parents could help out, and it's like kind of a one-stop shop of everybody can go there, pay their bill, make sure lunch money is taken care of. Oh, and I see there's a PTO fun event kind of thing. So instead of going to a couple different places, we're trying to just centralize. So just a thought, possibly for a new program, maybe.
Yeah, certainly announcing events and adding links to whatever else the PTO might be doing. That is something that the school district can currently do. Okay. I'm not exactly sure who at the school district you would contact about that, but I would start someplace in the administration area and
Sure.
and see if they're using it. Not every school district uses announcements.
Sure.
So they may not. It may not be something that they are currently using, but they could if they wanted to.
Worth a shot. Wonderful.
Yep,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
I know it was kind of unrelated, but sort of related.
No. Hey, you got us on the line. Ask away.
Excellent. Well, we do have two students or two guests, so I don't know if they have any questions on positions or your environment or anything. I like the culture, sounds very interesting and cool and laid back, and
It is a fun place to work. It's still family owned, so that makes a big difference. And I think in just how everything's run, and family is very important to the Kings, and they consider us all part of their family, and we're all treated very well. So
excellent. And how long have each of you been there?
It was 5 years this February.
Okay.
Brian?
I am heading towards 18 this summer.
Excellent.
Yeah, we've got many that have been with us over 30 years, actually.
Yep.
So, which I think is very telling to the type of organization it is.
Right.
Excellent. Well, we're nearing our 2:30 mark. I don't want to cut anyone short or cut anyone off, but I do want to thank you for
Welcome.
providing really great video. That was spectacular. 5 stars for sure.
Yeah.
Funny, was good stuff. And the information that you did provide, it, checked a lot of boxes for me that I didn't quite know, even this morning. So it's very informative. Appreciate the time you've taken with us, and look forward to seeing the new openings come fall, you're thinking, for our students.
For the internship, earlier for our full-time
Okay.
positions. That would be
Excellent.
for anybody graduating, this May or, yeah, so.
Okay. Excellent. Well, they can check CareerLink and then also your website as well.
Yep,
So that's
definitely.
good. And if we don't have any other questions, then I will bid a farewell and a good afternoon and a thank you again. And we'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon. Yes, absolutely.
Yep,
Good to meet you guys.
Thanks, Karen and
Thank you.
Brian.
Take care.
Thank you. Everybody take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.